Hey there friends, and thanks for joining me again. And today I want to talk to you about blueberries, because lately as I've been planting my little mini vineyard and my original berry video, I have been getting a lot of questions about whether or not we're planting blueberries. And so I just wanted to address that really quickly. So unfortunately, we are unable to grow blueberries here in Colorado. And there are several reasons why. The first one is because we don't have acidic soil. So basically the pH scale goes from 1 to 14, with 7 being neutral, and anything 7 and below is acidic soil, or acidic in general, any substance really, and then above 7 is alkaline. Well, here in Colorado, we unfortunately have alkaline soil, and I'll just insert a really quick, little picture, a world map actually, of what the soil conditions are in general around the world, really quick. And that is actually what the soil conditions look like around the world. You can kind of pick out your spot and see about what it's like in your area. And here where I live, the conditions are usually either slightly alkaline all the way up to very alkaline, unfortunately. Well, blueberries like a pH of about 5.5 or so. Here where I live, we get a pH of about 8 or 9, which is way too alkaline for to make them happy, basically. So unfortunately, I have made this mistake many times. The first time I planted blueberries, they just kind of died. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, well, buy other stuff and plant it and it works, and then they didn't work. And then the next time around, I actually did a little bit more research on them, and I figured out that they needed acidic soil. So my solution was, well, I'll just go ahead and plant them and put some fertilizer that is acidifying in with them. And those didn't really make it either. They kind of faltered and then eventually ended up dying too. Well, the last time I was like, all right, I know what we can do this time. We'll amend the soil a lot. We will, start a couple of years before I even plant them. We use some pine needle mulch and acidifying soil, fertilizer and all this stuff. And in the end, they didn't die, but they never really were happy. We're in the spot where they were, unfortunately. What ended up happening is they just kind of stayed tiny little sticks, and they never really grew bigger, but they didn't die either. So at best case scenario, I can just barely keep them alive, and that's pretty much all. Unfortunately, there are things where they just don't work for our conditions. It's like trying to grow a cactus in the rainforest, or banana trees in Alaska. There are just certain things that just don't work for your area. And unfortunately, blueberries are one of those for where I live here. I have done some research over time. A while ago, I decided to grow what's called a Saskatoon berry instead of a blueberry. And basically, it has a lot of different names. Sometimes it goes by Saskatoon, serviceberry, Juneberry, prairie berry. Basically what it is it's a berry bush that's sort of similar to a blueberry, but it isn't a true blueberry. It grows little blueberries, and they have a lot of, the same nutritional composition, actually a little bit more, and I'll talk about that in a second. And they don't taste exactly like a blueberry, but they do taste very similar. They're a nice, sweet little berry. Like I said, they're blue, and they're high in fiber, antioxidants, and even protein. Yes, I said protein. They actually have more minerals, fiber, protein, vitamin C, iron, and potassium than blueberries. So some have even argued that they might even be healthier than blueberries. They have a higher antioxidant level too, which antioxidants are obviously very good for us. They're anti-aging, they're anti-cancer, they help boost our immune system, and they can even help fight heart disease. So obviously very good. And so the Saskatoon or the serviceberry is still a very good option to grow. They taste really good, like I said, and and some might argue that they're actually even healthier. And my main concern, of course, is growing them. I want them to be able to live. So they are a lot less picky with their soil conditions. They don't like heavy clay. So that's one thing. If you go to plant them, you will have to amend your heavy clay. But otherwise, they only like a slightly acidic soil, which is what most of us can provide for them. So if you choose to plant one, which I have right here, and I'll back up and show it to you here in a second, just plant them about 3 to 5 feet apart-ish. Plant them in full sun for best results. If you plant them in partial shade, they will still grow and be happy, but you may get a reduced yield on your fruit. So if you have a spot that's in full sun, and then you know, you can amend the soil if you have soil that doesn't drain very well and then it's slightly acidic instead of heavily acidic like blueberries, then you too can grow a blueberry. Well, maybe not a true blueberry like I said, but a very similar blueberry to the regular blueberries that is still very delicious, and I would hope that you would be willing to try it because I have been a fan of them. I planted it at my last house and it just barely started to grow the first year. The second year it really started taking off, and then we moved away. So unfortunately, while I do know that they grow very well, I haven't been able to grow them for too long. So I'm really excited to plant them here and see how they do. So there you go. That's actually why I'm not planting blueberries, and for those of you that have alkaline soil, this may be an adequate substitute. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. I'm Frugal Green Girl, and we'll see you next time.